Hey guys, Dork31 here with another video, and this one is on NBA 2K16 versus NBA Live 16. I'm sure you're a fan of one of the two. I've been looking at forums, I've been in party chat members with people I play with on, my park on 2K, and just hearing so much arguments about this. I'm on different Facebook forums, and everything's just so much hype around both of these games coming out. Either you're a 2K fan or you're a Live fan. I've never really heard someone say that they're both are good. In my opinion, they both are good, but one is much better and more well put together as a basketball game in a whole. And I'm gonna tell you guys my opinion on that off three different categories. But before I get, four different categories. But before I get into that, if you come to my channel Thursday night, I have pre-ordered both of these games. Definitely 2K and Live, series is gonna be coming on my channel with my career. Decided to play both of those, so be sure to check out my channel Thursday night if you want to see some 2K My Career gameplay. And make sure to subscribe to see that every time, I make a new video. But let's get into the comparison here of my four different categories. I judge every game by this, and that is gameplay, graphics, features, and presentation. And let's get into it here with the gameplay. When I talk about gameplay, I mean dribble moves, shot form, shot release, shot timing. It's the way they set their picks, the way they go up for an alley-oop, the way they dunk it, the way, everything from the way their free throws look. I'm judging both of those off so much realism, it's unbelievable, because I believe one of the two is much better than the other. But let me get into it here. So one of my big gripes with Live, they've definitely improved every year on, is their movement. The way they look coming off a pick, the way they look setting a pick, and the way they look going up for an oop, and the way they look just running around. It does not look realistic in my opinion. It looks better than last year, but it still has a lot of issues they have not resolved, and I'm very not happy to say that. 2K has improved every year slightly, and it's always been good. They have slightly, not much, but a little bit improved from 2K15. But that being said, you always have that one saying, if it's not broke, then don't fix. Why would you fix it if it's broke? Everyone says that a different way. Don't fix what's not broken. So why would they do that? If it was already very good coming out of 2K15, and it's still, I believe, better than NBA Live. I'm gonna go ahead and say that on that part of it. On the gameplay part, movement is better with 2K. You can agree with me or disagree with me, but I'm just talking about realism and what it actually looks like when they do it in real life. And now going on here, I got dribble moves. Which one takes the cake on this one? Live again is very improved. So is 2K, but I'm gonna give these two a tie. They both 2K has great dribble moves for James Harden, Steph Curry, LeBron. They all look realistic, and same with Live. They have definitely done a great job this year with dribble moves and making it look realistic. So I'm going to give that one a tie. And now, overall here, what I usually say for gameplay on both, which one definitely is overall more realistic? Which one are you going to say, well, am I actually watching a basketball game? If someone comes in the door and they see you playing, who are they actually going to say, out of Live and 2K, who's actually going to be like, is this a real NBA game? A lot of older people do that haven't really experienced with games, always come up and be like, oh, I thought this was a real game and such, because how good the graphics are actually getting this year. And people always say that, but which one would you believe more of? If you came into a room and saw someone playing Live, would you actually mistake it for being an actual NBA game, or would you actually mistake 2K? Now, my opinion on that is 2K is definitely more realistic in every aspect, with the rim, the shot, the layups, the oops, the shot releases, the layups, the free throws. It looks more realistic, and it feels more realistic the way it plays and the way it looks, and the camera angles, of course. And that's one of my biggest gripes on Live is I don't really like the camera angles, and the movement just looks very junky sometimes, That's my opinion on that. So with gameplay, I'm definitely giving it the 2K here. So that's 1 for 2K out of 4. Now let's give on here to the graphics. Which one, this actually ties in a little bit with gameplay. If you saw me playing it and you came in to watching me play this game on my YouTube channel, and I was playing Live and I was playing 2K right next to each other, which one would you actually mistake for being a actual NBA broadcasted game? My opinion is definitely 2K, but the graphics are so much better overall. But what I'm saying about that is, Live has definitely improved their graphics. Definitely graphics have been, upgraded tremendously. You cannot deny that. But something I don't like with Live is, again, with the camera angles I said in gameplay. When you're zoomed out in Live, when you're zoomed out from the actual game, you might have a camera angle that looks a little bit more zoomed out from the crowd. You might be doing a broadcast kind of mode on the camera. It looks very unrealistic when you're from afar. But when you get fouled on Live, when you go up for a free throw and they zoom in on your face of the player, it looks very realistic, and it actually looks like you're actually looking at like Steph Curry. But when it's zoomed out and then you're actually in gameplay mode, it is not as good as 2K. I have to say that. 2K, you can be from afar, you can be zoomed in, any camera angle, 2K is going to look phenomenal. I cannot say the same for live. The farther you get zoomed out from live, the worse it starts to look. It just looks like the frame rate starts to go out the farther of the gameplay you get. And I hate to say that because it's definitely improved this year, but it has not improved enough to actually be competing with 2K in my opinion. Same with guys and their tattoos and the hair and the beards. It just looks much better and much more realistic on 2K. And you cannot argue that if you look at both. But they're both. Live is definitely a lot better, and they keep competing with 2K, and they're getting better every year, so I definitely give them props on that one. And now let's go on to features here. And by features, I mean my career, Park, you got Pro AM, you got Franchise, you got My GM, you got all this stuff on both games. Which one has better features? The features on, the main highlighted features on 2K are My Career, this year it is, My Career, Pro AM, Park, Franchise, and My GM. That's 5. And the main ones on live you got are Pro AM, My Career, and Franchise, and those 3 are in the Ultimate Team I'll say, but that's for 2K too. But those, Ultimate Teams, big on Madden and such. I wouldn't say it's a huge deal on 2K as much as My Career or My GM mode. But overall, if you look at My Career on 2K with Spike Lee coming in and directing it, it is looking phenomenal. Starting out as a high school student and going all the way up to getting picked by a college of your choice, and you go up to be drafted to the NBA. It's very realistic, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of dramatic scenes, very realistic on the training scale of upgrading your player. Live, EA, they kind of do this with Madden. You keep playing games on NFL. If you played Madden, you guys know if you create a running back or quarterback, you just keep kind of playing games and nothing really happens. You just play games until you get bored and you just play something else, like Ultimate Team. That's the same thing, but with 2K, there's cutscenes that keep you on the edge of your seat. You want to see what happens next. You want to upgrade your players as much as you can because you want to see what happens later on in your career with your rival. You got Jackson Ellis and different. It's kind of like a movie. It's like real life. It makes you actually feel like you're an NBA star going in, from out of high school. With live, not really doing that. It's just kind of another game mode that you just kind of play when you're bored. But actually, 2K, as I always say, there could be a game called NBA 2K My Career. It is so much detail and emphasis on it every year. They've changed so much. It is the most just overall sports game, I believe, out of Madden, MLB, that changes every year, that actually feels like you're getting $60 worth out of a new game. Because of the My Career, there's so much hours you can put into that and so much, detail and emotion that goes into it that you cannot say about any other sports game on the market. So that's why, in my opinion, I'm picking any day of the week. I'm going to be ahead and go pick 2K. But also, not just My Career, Pro AM on NBA is looking great this year with creating your own team, jersey, court. It all looks very fun with the customization scale. But don't get me wrong, Pro AM on live is very fun. You actually getting to play at Rucker Park and all that. But, 2K looks like it's going to be, also competing again this year with every feature, live has, with even a little bit more. So that's why in the feature section, I'm going to go ahead and give it to NBA 2K. And now my last little segment here is presentation. Which one actually feels and looks, and when I say that, I mean like the commentators, the presentation, the scoreboard, all that stuff. And I'm gonna give it to live, no doubt, because of the licensing agreement with ESPN. The announcers are very fun and intuitive. The scoreboard, it says ESPN, off commercials on. After a quarter or something, there's shows a little bit of highlight and says ESPN, and at halftime the ESPN show. It looks a lot better and feels a lot better just because of the license agreement. That's why it's going to look so much better, because it actually is a real-life channel and a real-life basketball broadcasting station. It looks a lot better than 2K Sports. After halftime and stuff, it says 2K Sports halftime show, which is not real. It's just part of the game. But, actually seeing ESPN halftime show on live, it makes you actually feel like you're actually sitting there at a halftime show and actually watching highlights from the game. But if you guys have heard, overall, my, scoring here, 3-1, 2K wins. Now, that's why I say that 2K is definitely worth the $60, and you will definitely be getting a lot more out of 2K on the scale of how much hours you'll put into 2K will be so much more. The amount of fun you'll get out of 2K will be a lot better than live. Overall, I just feel like 2K is definitely 2K is the game you're going to have to choose if you had to pick one this year. You don't have to listen to me. You can have your own opinion, but that is my actual statistic and my opinion on why I think it is better than live. I'm not just saying, oh, I like 2K better because it's 2K. I actually have full-on opinions on graphics, features, and modes and presentation and such, and why I think 2K is a much better game and more, worth the $60 price tag. But thank you guys for watching. As I said, make sure to check out Thursday night around 3 in the morning. I'll be staying up all night waiting for that game to install on my Xbox. There'll definitely be 2K and NBA Live gameplay with my career onto my channel. Make sure to check that out, and I'll definitely be happy to be uploading that almost every day. So thank you guys for watching this little versus video here. Tell me in the comments what you think, which one came out on top out of your